Here I have my mom's ancestry DNA results, and then I have my ancestry DNA. It's only been, I think, a few hours since I first looked at my mom's results. Um, I expected to see for my mom um, Iberian Peninsula, European Jewish. I expected to see Italy, Greece. I had a wild guess that the Polynesian came from my mom. I expected to see Africa in the amount, pretty much in that amount, and Native American. Africa North is here on my map. This one is my mom's map, and on my map, Africa North is shaded. It's not a circle, it's actually a shaded region, and that comes from my dad's dad, who was born in Cape Verde. The last name, our last name from my dad's side, is people that had to flee the Iberian Peninsula during the Inquisition. They fled because they were Jewish. And on my dad's side, they fled to Morocco. They were in Morocco for a few hundred years, and then from there they went to Cape Verde in the 1800s. And I knew the Russian also would be on my mom's side because in between 1875 and 1900, there was immigration from Russia to the part of Mexico that my mom is from. So that was expected. Russia, I believe that the Middle East is from Israel, and then the Caucasus is, I believe, possibly some of the mixture that was there with the Jewish people. Italy, Greece is from the Roman Empire. And then my mom has 1% Ireland. And we're thinking at this point that it may have been from the Celts. And they were in Spain for a period of time. So that may be why my mom has Irish. I have 2% Irish, so I have some Irish from my dad's side as well. Let's see, Great Britain. I believe the Great Britain comes from my dad's mom. Europe East, Scandinavia. So it's possible that I may get the Scandinavia from my mom. Europe West, mine shows up as 0. It's different from the other zeros. Like if I were to expand all of everything that was tested, I would have zeros in other areas, but for some reason the 0 stays here. So we believe that that may be French. My mom is part of her Iberian Peninsula is Basque. It's from an ancient Basque family, and so we think that this may reflect a bit of France. We're not sure yet. We know Italy, Greece is from the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire expanded and it encompassed Spain and Portugal. So there is genetics from Rome and Spain. I believe that 69% have genetics from the Roman Empire. So we believe that 5% is from there. European Jewish is reflected. We are part of the diaspora, part of the 6 closest last names so far that we've actually the 8 closest last names on my mom's side that we've identified so far. 6 of them families that fled Spain during the Spanish Inquisition. And this reflects here that we were in Spain, we were Jewish, and we fled. Our genetic community where my mom was born shows that our ancestors fled to northern Mexico. And Russian, this is recent, this is from 1875 to 1900, the Russian immigration. Then we have Native American, and we know where that comes from, where in North America that Native American comes from, northern Mexico. And Polynesian is really interesting. I think that's really neat. The Middle East and Caucasus, we believe, is part of our Jewish ancestors. And the Middle East shows Israel listed, European Jewish shows Israel listed. And I'm still looking and processing my mom's results, and I'm deducing what is on my dad's side. I have an amount here from Italy. I believe I have some of the Iberian Peninsula from my dad because he did have genetics from Portugal. And this is for my mom. European Jewish is for my mom. The African North is from the Sephardi Jewish people. They fled Portugal and they went to Morocco. They were in Morocco for a few hundred years. And then after that, they moved to Cape Verde in the 1800s. So this is the Jewish lineage on my dad's side, reflected as Africa North. So I have Jewish lineage from both sides. And yes, and I knew too, because I know some people from Spain will have sometimes genetics from Africa North, but I knew my mom. I knew the Africa North came from my dad's side, and that it wasn't from anything in Spain. My mom's a lot of her genetics from Spain is Basque, and that is in northern Spain. During the influence of North Africans in Spain, they did not conquer the Basque. Yeah, so just we're working this out, and it's really neat to see this, to see my mom's results, and Scandinavia. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to research that. It's possible that I got the Scandinavian from my mom. It's possible. I will have to look up Scandinavia and if how it connects Europe East, and that's from my dad. That's interesting. I'm so happy to see her results. It's really, really neat. Asia East is interesting. We don't have any leads on that, so that's something that we'll look into and see. And the Jewish ancestors on my mom's side, they were in Eastern Europe before they went to Spain. And then from Spain, they went to Mexico. And that is, we can see it here on the map. That's part of the migration patterns from Eastern Europe to Spain to America. Yeah. So from Spain, what comes from Spain on my mom's side is like when there was the move from Spain to Mexico, it was Iberian Peninsula, European Jewish, Italy, Greece, possibly Europe West, and Ireland. Those, oh, and Middle East and Caucasus, because Middle East is Israel for us, and Caucasus, it appears as though that is part of the European Jewish and Middle East. So that those genetics go together with those ancestors. So that is what comes from Spain. Scandinavia, we're not sure yet. That's something that I have to investigate. And Asia East, we want to look into. And then Polynesia is interesting. I think that's really interesting. Let's see, Italy, Greece, some of it is for my dad. So my dad had quite a bit of Italian. Yeah, how interesting. Actually, I'm an American citizen, and I have 4 other countries that I could be a citizen of. Like I have 4 other countries to choose from. It's interesting now because I know of Spain and Portugal. But I do want to let family know just so they know. you know, and if any of them, for whatever reason, has any interest in getting citizenship there, then they can. Um, yeah, this is so neat. This is so neat. Um, I see that history is very accurate. Ancestry has a lot of really good information about immigration from different parts of the world at different times. They have timelines. They have genetic communities. They have the breakdown of composition, like the DNA composition of different areas. For example, Spain, 69% have genetics from the Roman Empire, and that is where my mom gets her 5% Italy Greece from. It comes from her ancestors from Spain. So I believe that Ireland as well on my mom's side is likely from the Celts that were in Spain for a period of time. So we're able to pinpoint and go in and read and research and learn about the time periods and how that makes up who we are and what we are, and also who we are, because a lot of this, if I look at, like, say, the cultural practices, interests, just a lot of different things, I see it in my genetics. I can see that it comes from my genetics, and that I am all of these things. I've practiced so much with Russian, for example. I was a ballet dancer for a long time, and my favorite styles of ballet were Russian, the Russian technique, and the cicchetti, which is Italian. It's really neat to see that. I also studied at a French school as a scholarship student at a French school as well. But we all wore, almost all of us wore Russian shoes, and yeah, we really liked Russian style, Russian classical techniques. So when I look through, I can see that I've been drawn to and I've practiced many different things that are reflected here. The European Jewish, definitely, um, definitely, and then of course Spain was. It's very clear that we were from Spain and Africa, um, definitely. I want to say it could possibly be Senegal. I'm trying to see if I can feel. This is the Cape Verdean side. I believe the Cameroon Congo may be from my dad's mom. I need to look up again the genetic composition of Cape Verdeans. I know it's Senegal. From the North Africa, it's Senegal, Africa North, and then it's some of the Southern European that I have, Italian and Iberian Peninsula. Yes. And so let's see. So I want to look to see what other places are reflected in Cape Verdeans, and then I'll have a pretty good idea of, then, I can deduce, just, and figure out what African comes from my dad's mom. And so that's um, how I will figure that out. With the connection, I don't know exactly what areas. I want to say that it's Senegal, but it could be more than Senegal. There is a connection. I've seen it, like, reflected in my life spiritually through water, and like water is the element of water, and like baptismal water, holy water. It's a really interesting connection, and I am able to see that it is connected to my African ancestors. So that's a really it's a really interesting thing that comes through. So yeah, it's really neat to see how it's not just what I am, but it's also a big part of who I am. And I know that interests and different things like that are connected to genetics. The Native American, definitely. I definitely connect with the Native American, and I actually do practice um, a lot of what is Native American that's very much a part of me. So um, yeah, yeah, this is really cool. And there's still so much to research and read about and learn about. There's a lot to read on this site, and there's a lot to read in the world about these, about our genetic lineages, and it's very enjoyable and very interesting.
Entonces le salió 4% de África, menos de 1% de Asia, 62% de Europa, 28% América, menos de 1% de Pacific Islander, de las Islas Pacíficas, y 4% de Asia Oeste, que es Israel, y Caucasus. ¡Uy, ma! Entonces sus porcentajes más grandes es el de la área de España y Portugal, que en su caso es España, y el segundo es Native American, América, y el tercer por ciento más grande, European Jewish, ama. Y eso verifica los apellidos que tenemos en la familia. De los 8 que hemos identificado, 6 son de la gente judía, ma, de España. ¡Wow! Oye, ma, me cayó de eso. Bueno, lo esperaba, pero es bastante, ama. Mira, entonces lo de Italia mío, me vi un poquito de usted y un tanto de mi papá. Mi papá tenía italiano, porque a mí me salió 12%. Pues sí, así salió en la sangre más grande de España, como usted les